Coming up on News 15 today, President Biden lands in Louisiana today for a trip to two cities as part of his Getting America Back on Track plan. Details ahead.
And fuel removal has started on the capsized Secor vessel in the Gulf. We discuss the Coast Guard's plan for this difficult task later in the show.
And a cool and dry start to our day, and it looks like that's sticking around your forecast. Details just ahead.
From Fox 15 and KLAF NBC, News 15 Today starts now.
Good morning. You're watching News 15 Today. I'm Carter Simino.
Good morning. I'm Alex Worstel. Thanks so much for tuning in. Well, new this morning, Eunice police working multiple shootings last night that left two people dead.
Yeah, multiple calls for shots fired came in last night around 7:15 and were all in the same area of the city. One victim was pronounced dead at the scene of Highway 190 and Nimitz Street.
Another victim being pronounced dead at the Acadian Medical Center, where two unidentified people dropped the victim off at the doors of the emergency room. Two people are currently detained for questioning. The
investigation is still very active. Call the Eunice Police Department with information at 337-457-2626 or Crime Stoppers at 337-948-TIPS.
Well, President Biden will land in the Bayou State today for a visit to help get America on track after the pandemic.
That's right. President Biden will travel to Lake Charles this afternoon to deliver remarks on the American Jobs Plan. The president will also travel to New Orleans, where he's expected to tour the Carrollton water plant.
The trip is part of his Getting America Back on Track tour.
Salvage crews have begun to remove fuel from the capsized Secor vessel just off the Gulf Coast. Crews began arriving over the weekend, and the Coast Guard saying the work started earlier this week. The salvage crews will focus on removing the fuel from the tank above the waterline first, and then it will remove the fuel from the tanks below the waterline. The boat capsized on April 13th. 6 were rescued, 6 bodies recovered, and left, 7 still missing.
Well, one man was arrested after leading police on a wild chase causing multiple accidents on Ambassador Caffrey. 27-year-old Darren Bonnet allegedly asked the victim for a ride to the Acadiana Mall. Once at the mall, Bonnet carjacked the victim at knife point and left. The suspect caused 5 minor accidents while attempting to run from police. Bonnet ran away but was quickly arrested. He is booked into the Lafayette Parish Jail on a $140,000 bond.
35-year-old Mona Duhan is behind bars in the St. Martin Parish Jail for allegedly shooting a man in the face. It happened in the 1000 block of Salt Mine Highway in Brobridge. The victim was transported to an area hospital for treatment. Duhan was arrested and booked for attempted second-degree murder. Bond is set at $150,000. Well, let's go ahead and shift gears and check on the forecast with Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier.
Yes, let's do that. Good morning, Adam. Welcome back. We're seeing some comfortable temperatures to start off the morning.
Yeah, very pleasant start to the day. A little bit of some humidity still around, but drier air is going to sweep on in through the day today, making for some really pleasant conditions out there. Getting your morning started, it's a little chilly up in Ville Platte, where it's 54 degrees right now, 57 in Opelousas, 59 strung out right along the I-10 corridor from Jennings to Breaux Bridge, and 60s down closer to the coast. Now, all the clouds, they are offshore. They are not making a return later on today. We could see a few high clouds the closer we get to noontime, but really a very pleasant day shaping up with those mid-70s there by lunchtime. We're talking about some nice weather sticking around in your forecast. We'll find out for how long and when rain chances could return coming up.
All right, sounds good, Adam. We'll check back in just a few. Well, some advice for you. Don't kick off your weekend by being stuck detouring. On Friday, there will be ramp closures at I-49 and I-10. The entrance ramp of I-10 eastbound at I-49 will be closed this Friday. The closure will last from 8 a.m. on Friday to 6 a.m. on Saturday, May 8th. This closure is part of the $124 million I-10 widening project. Crews will be stripping the new road. The project is estimated to be complete this summer.
Well, work completion on the US 90 bridge in Morgan City has been delayed until December. The state DOTD said the work includes cleaning, painting, and bridge repairs. Now, the closures affect the right eastbound and westbound lanes of the bridge, as well as the bridge's eastbound entrance ramp at LA 182 in Berwick, as well as its westbound entrance ramp at Federal Avenue. While the work is ongoing, drivers are urged to drive with caution, especially during lane closures.
A quick reminder that today is your chance to help as many Acadiana nonprofits as you can. Sola Giving Day allows scores of nonprofits across the region to benefit from the goodwill of Acadiana residents. By simply logging on to solagivingday.org, you can select the nonprofit of your choice and donate as much as you can to help them in their mission to make lives better in Acadiana. News 15 is proud to be one of many local sponsors of Sola Giving Day, so we thank you for your support.
Well, every Thursday in May, the Cardiovascular Institute of the South in Lafayette will be holding free women's cardiac wellness screenings. So from 1:30 to 4:30, you can visit their campus on Ambassador Caffrey for free EKGs, blood pressure checks, and ultrasounds. All screenings will be reviewed on site, and the event will include refreshments and giveaways. You can visit the Cardiovascular Institute of the South's Facebook for registration.
It might look like Fat Tuesday this weekend in Youngsville in honor of the King Cake 5K Mardi Gras Mambo Run. We talked about this last week on the show. The King Cake 5K and virtual charity run for Faith House kicks off at 8:30 with registration happening at 7:30. You are encouraged to wear your best Mardi Gras outfits, and they're celebrating moms this year. The run falls the day before Mother's Day. All proceeds will go towards Faith House and their domestic violence services to victims in our community. Visit their Facebook page for more information.
Well, when you're done with the fun run, you can head downtown to a pre-art walk market. Marché Sans-Souci happens every second Saturday of the month in conjunction with Art Walk Lafayette in Park Sans-Souci. The event features a dozen of artists and craftspeople from across the state until 8 p.m., including jewelry makers, painters, craftsmen, and many more. COVID-19 precautions will be put in place for this event.
To catch up on continued coverage of the latest news around Acadiana and the state, visit our website, klaf.com.
Two Americans sentenced to life in Italy for killing a cop in 2019 after a drug stint went wrong. Those details later in the show.
Plus, the House votes to eliminate the need for concealed carry permits as a final bill needs to be drafted before landing on the governor's desk. Details after the break.
And looking at that early morning forecast, temperatures hold in the upper 50s with some comfy, cool conditions out there. We'll talk about the dry end to your week coming up.
And if you need proof of your COVID vaccine, it'll soon be right at your fingertips. We have that story for you coming up after the break. You are watching News 15 today.
Usually just means that, hey, we're about to wrap up on the interview because someone's probably scraping notes. Oh, thank you, John. Check, check. Check, 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 check. Thank you. Let me see. Is that 513? Couple stories before us. And John, you're now my favorites on my Oh.
Welcome back. Yesterday, Governor Edwards announced a new feature on the LA Wallet mobile app that will allow you to show digital proof of your COVID vaccination.
This effort to prove vaccine status comes as lawmakers consider measures that would ban requiring proof of immunization against COVID to enter state-owned or financed buildings.
The state has had some trouble persuading people to get the vaccine, with Louisiana not drawing down its full federal allocation of vaccine doses for the last 3 weeks.
State Republican lawmakers are scrapping efforts aimed at redesigning Louisiana's primary election.
Yes, Slidell Senator Sharon Hewitt proposed a return to closed party primary, saying members of Congress in Louisiana are elected later than the rest of the company.
In the state's current open primary system, all candidates run against each other for elected office, regardless of political party. If no candidate tops 50% in that primary, then two candidates with the highest vote go head-to-head. This system has been in place since 1975.
Unlike in a closed primary election where candidates form the same political parties run against each other before advancing, the proposal is moving to the full House for debate.
The Louisiana House has voted to eliminate the need for a concealed carry permit for guns in the state, agreeing with the Senate, who voted strongly in favor earlier this week. A final version of the two bills needs to be agreed on before heading to the governor's desk. Governor Edwards has said that he will veto this measure once it hits his desk, despite the strong backing of both the Senate and House. Even some Democrats crossed party lines and voted for this measure.
Well, Louisiana senators overwhelmingly agreeing to a proposal that would bar transgender athletes from competing in girls' sports teams in school. The measure is likely heading to the House Education Committee, the same committee that rejected a similar proposal yesterday. The Louisiana High School Athletic Association is already saying the student athlete must compete in the gender of their birth certificate unless they've undergone sex reassignment surgery.
Voting rights advocates in New Orleans are trying to dismiss a lawsuit that they filed. The lawsuit aimed to seek safe voting opportunities during the COVID-19 pandemic, but now the plaintiffs are saying the issue is debatable. The plaintiffs include the Louisiana State Conference of the NAACP and the Power Coalition for Equity and Justice. The organizations are saying that they have a right to dismiss the case as it only pertained to November and December elections. Governor John Bel Edwards is not opposing the dismissal effort, but some lawmakers are pushing for an appeal. Well, the pandemic changed a lot of different things around the country. One disturbing statistic is that domestic violence increased in Acadiana by 70%.
The Family Justice Center of Acadiana is a place where victims can go to talk to an advocate, plan for safety, and meet with law enforcement. Al Abair is there this morning to give us a closer look at this important resource. Good morning, Al. How's it going?
Hey Carter, hey Alex. I am here with Nicole Cockrum over at the Family Justice Center. Now, Nicole works both at Faith House and the Family Justice Center. A lot of people may not know about the Family Justice Center. Tell us about that.
Sure. Family Justice Center was established in 2016. Faith House opened. It is an entity of Faith House, and it's a wonderful resource for Lafayette because people can literally come here and get all the help that they need, whether that be civil legal attorneys, advocates, civil legal services, there's a bunch of resource. Any resource that they would need is located here under this roof, and it's open to the public so they can come anytime. But if anyone is involved with a domestic violence situation, all they need to do is come here and they can file a restraining order, get help from an attorney, and have everything that they need under the one roof.
Now, what I love about this, my first career was law enforcement, and back when I was in the business, we didn't have a place for women to go. And it was up to us as police officers to find a place. And that's what I love about Faith House and what I love about this place. And so you've had a big increase in domestic violence with the pandemic. Tell us about that.
During the pandemic, and this was actually called a pandemic within a pandemic because domestic violence skyrocketed to a new rate. And here, and I think it's important for people to know and understand that here in your own backyard, we experienced a 70% increase in domestic violence when the pandemic started. Last year was an extremely crazy year for us, and we provided services. We were not closed for one day. We provided services to every woman, child, man, because it doesn't just extend to just women. Anyone who needed services got those services. And we also experienced a decrease of donations by 50% with the economic landscape. So we have a really large gap to fill.
Well, I tell you, we're going to talk about this all morning long with Nicole. Very important topic. And if you're going to give to anything, I love Faith House. I think it's so critical. We're going to go back to you guys in the studio. More at News 15 today.
Okay, Al, thank you so much for that important information. We'll be checking in with you throughout the morning.
Yes.
Still to come on News 15 today, reality TV star Josh Duggar has been released from an Arkansas jail after being charged with possession of child pornography. We have those details for you in just a bit. But first, we are checking in with Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier. Cooler temperatures this morning. We'll see how long they last next. Stay with us, 5:16 on your Thursday morning.
Always tracking, always alerting. Here's your Storm Track 15 weather.
Welcome back. It is at 5:19 and it's shaping up to be A beautiful day around Acadiana, or we should say morning, because
Yeah.
it's still a little dark out there.
Well,
But
let's find out if the nice weather lasts in our forecast with Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier, who joins us this morning. Adam, what can you tell us?
Well, Carter and Alex, it really is going to turn out to be a pretty nice day overall. We have dry air in place, which is going to lead to a lot of sunshine. The clouds from yesterday are gone. We're going to see that sunshine around today, and not only today, also to end your week. Your Friday shaping up to be just as nice. Then by the weekend, well, we're talking about that humidity returning in the forecast. A look at I-10 at Ambassador. Been watching off in the distance. There appears to be maybe some haze, some fog right at the ground there. It is kind of a humid morning out there. You probably notice your car kind of covered in that dew. But overall, not a bad looking day. 59 degrees, 57 of that dew point. So there's that moisture building on in. Northerly winds at 6 miles per hour. That's going to help bring some drier air in for the rest of today. And in fact, look at this. 65 degrees by 9 o'clock. Midday, we're looking at the 70s. And then by 3 p.m., near 80 degrees. So maybe if you want to go do some fishing, perfect day for that. We're looking at a lot of sunlight out there. Dry air filtering on in through the nighttime hours tonight. We dip down into the 50s here north of I-10. Upper 50s to right around 60 degrees closer to the coast. And then we do this all over again tomorrow. Another spectacular day. Temperatures in the lower 80s as we stay dry. But all good things come to an end pretty quickly around here in Louisiana. The muggy air returns towards the weekend. High pressure that's giving us the nice weather right now pushes off to the east. That brings in southerly winds, and with that, the humidity across the area. Eventually, that humidity leads to a few showers and thunderstorms. So for your Mother's Day, overall, it should stay dry, just more humidity building on in. Lower 80s by midday. By 6 o'clock, though, we could have a pop-up storm or two. Overall, again, those rain chances remaining pretty low here through the weekend, not expecting a whole lot. But then going into next week, big changes in our forecast. We start to see a pretty wet pattern setting up across Acadiana. So we're going to keep you up to date on that in the coming days. But at least we get to end this weekend for the first part of your weekend on a dry note.
We'll take that, Adam. Thank you very much.
Yes,
We'll
thanks.
check back with you in just a few. Up next, NBC News catches up with a man close to the controversy surrounding Rudy Giuliani in the Ukraine. Did he attempt to interfere? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. It is 5:24. Former 19 Kids and Counting star Josh Duggar has been granted a release by a U.S. District Court in Arkansas.
Duggar appeared in court by video conference yesterday in front of Judge Christy Comstock. He was arrested on April 29th in a 2-count indictment alleging 1 count of receipt of child pornography and 1 count of possession of child pornography. Duggar has pleaded not guilty to both counts.
While the judge granted Duggar's release effective Thursday, she noted the evidence against him that was presented was significant. Judge Comstock said the nature of the crime concerns the court and added that this past conduct, molesting 5 young girls, including some of his sisters, when he was a minor teen in 2002 and 2003, was also a concern.
As of now, his jury trial is scheduled to begin July 6th.
A jury in Italy late yesterday convicted 2 American friends in the 2019 killing of a police officer in a drug sting gone awry. The verdict was read out in a Rome courtroom after the jury deliberated more than 12 hours.
The 2 Californians from the Bay Area were found guilty of murdering an undercover policeman near their Rome hotel in 2019. They have been sentenced to life in prison. The 2 said they acted in self-defense, thinking the 2 police officers were thugs out to get them after a botched attempt to buy drugs.
Police say the 35-year-old officer who died was not armed at the time and was stabbed 11 times by Elder with a 7-inch blade that he'd brought from the United States.
NBC News is learning more about Rudy Giuliani's attempts to pressure Ukraine to dig up dirt on Joe Biden when he was trying to win the Democratic nomination.
Andrea Mitchell has more from Ukraine.
Tonight, a first-person account of how Rudy Giuliani was trying to damage Joe Biden's campaign. From a man who listened in as Giuliani pressed for Ukraine's president to investigate Biden.
So what did you hear Rudy Giuliani saying to President Zelensky's top advisor?
Basically, it was all about a smear campaign on then not even a candidate Biden, Joe Biden. And he was especially interested in getting Ukraine to make a public statement and possibly back it up. This crazy allegation that it was Ukraine, not Russia, that meddled in 2016.
That call just 3 days before what former President Trump called his perfect phone call with Ukraine's president that led to the first impeachment.
How did you feel when you were listening to it?
I was shocked, I was scared, and I was bewildered because I expected that phone call to be just a casual kind of nice to meet you phone call.
Giuliani now under investigation for his role in Ukraine, even as Russia threatens Ukraine on land and at sea. Secretary of State Blinken arriving tonight to signal U.S. support for the beleaguered country and to urge Ukraine not to backslide into corruption, a growing concern for reformers like Daria Kaleniuk. Daria, how much is corruption an issue here in Ukraine?
Corruption is a huge issue in Ukraine still. It's a threat to the national security of Ukraine. Ukrainian citizens consider this threat probably at the same level as the war with Russia.
Giuliani's lawyer has not responded to our request for comment, and he has not been charged with any crime. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, Kiev.
Coming up, we speak with local pregnant women and doctors about the pandemic birth rates and how they didn't expect them to trend downwards. That story coming up in our next half.
And radar is quiet right now, but we could be seeing some showers and storms returning to the forecast, and that humidity as well. Details just ahead.
Market research that is currently underway.
Oh, you're back there? No, just because, like, we just didn't know if you're back there to... No, it's fine, just Adam was chewing. Adam was, like, chewing during the tease, so just, I don't know.